When children have internet access at home, don't be surprised when they're more confident, creative, and enthusiastic in the classroom. If your child qualifies for free school lunches, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. Visit Connect2Compete.org/Cox or call 855-222-3252 to learn more. Cox Connect to Compete. Smart tools for school.
Today is really all about Connect2Compete program that we have in the community. It's about connecting our kids in the communities, in their homes, and in the schools, and really enabling them to have internet so they can succeed and grow to productive, mature adults.
This is a great partnership with Cox Communications. We have our students in East Baton Rouge Parish are going to be able to have access to the internet, to computer internet, which is going to be very, very exciting at a very low cost. It's Connect2Compete program. Cox is a great partner of ours, and today we have the CFO coming in from Atlanta. We also have the FCC Commissioner, Ajit coming in from Washington. It's an exciting day for East Baton Rouge Parish because we're going to give them an opportunity, all of our kids, to have access. And when you have access in the home, you're going to have a level playing field where our kids can compete with any kids anywhere.
I think this is going to help a lot of kids in my classes because I have at least 5 to 10 kids in my AP classes that don't have internet connection at home. They have to walk 3 to 6 miles to the library when they can easily do it at home, save more time and get more work done. I think it's going to be really beneficial to the students at this school, and I really like the program.
The FCC's goal is to ensure that whoever wants to access the internet is able to do so. And we do that in partnership with the private sector. Companies like Cox have taken the lead in delivering digital opportunities across the country, and especially when we're talking about people trying to succeed in the internet age, increasingly broadband is a vital part of that, and that's part of the reason why I'm so privileged to be a part of this Connect2Compete initiative.
How much of your homework is internet-based?
All of it is pretty much internet-based. Since we do AP classes, it's up to date on the new technology of the new age, so you want it all to be internet-based. It's the new world, so 21st century makes sense. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. My name is Byron Dwayne Hall, Jr. I'm president of Broadmoor Student Government Association and also your MC today. Now, distinguished guests and students, on behalf of Principal Semino and all Buccaneers, I'd like to welcome you to our campus this afternoon. And of course, it is always a pleasure to host the leader of our East Baton Rouge Parish School System, Superintendent Mr. Warren Drake. Today, we would also like to extend an extra special welcome to FCC Commissioner Ajit and Cox Communications Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, Mark Bowser. For those of you who may not know exactly what an FCC commissioner does, which I'm sure, just think about your smartphone and how every day you enjoy surfing the internet and how fun it is with the little apps and stuff. Or how we all watch TV and even listen to the radio. Commissioner Pai plays an integral role in helping us all enjoy these everyday forms of communication. The FCC is an independent agency of the United States government that sets policies and regulates the many important forms of communications that we all enjoy. Welcome also to Mr. Bowser of Cox Communication, who's traveled all the way from company's headquarters in Atlanta just to be with us today. Today, Mr. Bowser and Commissioner Pai are here to talk about a very important topic and issue, and that is the importance of internet accessibility and closing the digital divide. I'm used to computers because I'm our school JRTC battalion's Staff S5, or Special Operations Officer. I work the communications and the websites, and I take pictures and deal with all technological things in the battalion. The website of the best JRTC program in East Baton Rouge Parish, with churches to prove it. And I'm also a cadet. As a student, I know that those of us who have internet connection at home often take for granted how important it has become to our schoolwork, whether it's researching a project, or checking up on our grades on parent access. The internet plays an important role in our education, but sadly, not every student in our school has access to the internet at home. Some of my friends in AP classes travel 3 to 6 miles on foot to the library just to get our assigned homework done. And if they had internet access at home, they could finish their homework faster and accomplish way more in their studies rather than walking back and forth to the library. This is why we're all gathered here today. Take a few minutes. You are here about how Cox and its partners are expanding their efforts to make a home internet connection a reality for every family. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome the superintendent of our great school system, Mr. Warren Drake.
It's really a great honor to be here. Once a Buccaneer, always a Buccaneer. I worked here from 92 to 95 as assistant principal, so Buccaneer pride is great, and I want to thank the students for being here today. It's really important to have our students here, that you are the most important people in our school system, trust me. You are number one. But I want to thank Byron. I had an opportunity to talk to Byron a little bit coming in, and he was telling me all about the school and his excitement. You can tell just in his enthusiastic tone what kind of person he is and what kind of person he's going to be. So I look forward to keeping up with Byron and seeing where you go in the next few years. I think he's like the general of the ROTC here at Broadmoor High School. So I want to thank all of our guests for coming today. Our East Baton Rouge Parish employees are here, all of the faculty and staff, and of course our partner, Cox Communications. I want to thank Cox Communications. What we're seeing here today is a game changer. This is a game changer. It's an opportunity. And first let me say it's my goal that every student in East Baton Rouge Parish have an opportunity to be on a level playing field, to be able to access internet in their home. Today we're in a digital world. We're in a world where teachers give assignments that are digital. You have to go on the internet. Right now many of our students must go to the library or to a friend's house to do that. So this is a game changer for us. So what is our goal? Our goal is to have every student have access in East Baton Rouge Parish. And we can't do it without partners like Cox. We have a great partnership with them. I appreciate what you've done, Cox, all of you, to help us make this possible today. And of course, our Commissioner, FCC, and Mr. Mark Bowser. And I'm going to introduce him right now, but the most important thing we can say here today is that our kids, these kids, and all of our kids, the 42,500 students we have in East Baton Rouge Parish, will finally have access, low-cost access to internet in their home. And that is a big statement. So I want to introduce Mr. Mark Bowser. He's Executive Vice President and CFO, Chief Financial Officer of Cox Communications. He's out of Atlanta. So he's also an FBI agent, so y'all be careful when you talk to him. Started in the FBI. He was a leader of many of the largest corporations in the nations in the digital parts of that corporation. He's also on boards of philanthropic organizations like McDonald House and different things. He brings a lot to the table here. We're so glad to have Mr. Mark Bowser, Executive Vice President and CFO of Cox Communications from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, good afternoon. It's really a great pleasure to be here in Baton Rouge with you all today. And to Superintendent Drake, I'm really excited to be here with you to firsthand to look at how technology and digital learning are driving the educational experience right here in East Baton Rouge. And what can I say? What a great welcome, Byron. Really well done. Very, very well done. Very, very much appreciate the welcome you gave us here today. I think he's running for office, is what I think. Well, let me start by saying Cox Communications has a strong history of connecting youth to technology, whether that's in their communities, in their homes, or in their schools. And our commercial services division, Cox Business, provides internet services to more than 7,400 schools and approximately 4 million students across our footprint and right here in East Baton Rouge. We've been a technology partner of the Boys and Girls Club of America for more than a decade, funding more than 75 Cox Technology Centers across our 18-state footprint. We've been a leader in the efforts to close the digital divide for low-income families through Connect2Compete, a program we helped launch with the collaboration of the Federal Communications Commission. We are particularly proud of the progress in this area. Nearly 130,000 people have been connected to the internet through C2C since 2012. That said, we know there's a lot more work to be done. First, we're committed to ensuring the program meets the needs of students and their families. We know that a fast, reliable internet connection empowers both students and their parents to maximize educational opportunities at home and in school. As more and more learning takes place in a digital environment, and as educational content increases in complexity and creativity, we know the demands of speed are increasing. That is why I'm proud to announce that the speed of Cox internet services associated with Connect2Compete is doubling. That's right, doubling. You can give a round of applause for that. Starting next month, the speed of our C2C service will increase to 10 megabits per second. Secondly, and this is a really important one for the students, we're adding in-home Wi-Fi to our service, providing the opportunity for all members of the household to access the internet at the same time. We know this is especially exciting for students like Byron, who receive tablets maybe from their schools, and now there won't be any more waiting for your turn for the internet at home. We think this is a big win-win for the internet and for C2C across our country and our footprint, and particularly right here in East Baton Rouge. So as I noted earlier, we're deeply committed to closing the digital divide. Through the C2C program alone, we've contributed more than $25 million over the last period of time since 2012. But when we look at why some families are still not connected to the internet, research shows the number one factor is relevance. That is, understanding how a home internet connection can actually make a difference in your life. Yes, the need has never been more critical, with more than 75% of teachers now assigning internet-based homework. Students who do not have access to the internet are, simply put, being left behind. To help drive awareness of the relationship between internet and our students in the classroom, we have, as you might guess from a company in our business, we have invested in a marketing campaign entitled Smart Tools for School. Our goal is to demonstrate the internet is a tool just as important as notebooks and just as important as textbooks. I want you to be among the first to see the new public service announcement, so if we could roll the video.
When children have internet access at home, don't be surprised when they're more confident, creative, and enthusiastic in the classroom. If your child qualifies for free school lunches, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. Visit Connect2Compete.org/Cox or call 855-222-3252 to learn more. Cox Connect2Compete, smart tools for school.
So in addition to the TV spot, we produce radio commercials as well as flyers and bus shelter advertisements that will be strategically placed in the communities where our families live and where they work. Our hope is this campaign will complement the efforts of our community leaders and our political leaders who play a key role in helping families embrace the Connect2Compete program, giving children the ability to compete in today's digital world. Now let me shift gears a little bit. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce a very special guest here today. I noted earlier that C2C was started in collaboration with the Federal Communications Commission. Today we're privileged to be joined by a representative of the Commission, someone who cares deeply about students and about their future. FCC Commissioner Ajit embraces the role technology and digital learning play in driving success in and outside the classroom. During his time with the FCC, he has been steadfast in his support of broadband investment and a regulatory environment that encourages competition as well as innovation. He is particularly interested in making sure all students have access to the internet. Recently, he noted an obligation to ensure all children can enjoy the full bounty of opportunities that the internet provides. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner Pai.
Thank you, Mark, for that very kind introduction. Thank you, Byron, or should I say Mr. Mayor, for kicking off the festivities. Thank you, Superintendent Drake, for being here and for your leadership in this terrific district. It is great to be in Buccaneer country. One of the reasons why I'm so privileged to be one of the commissioners of the Federal Communications Commission is because this is really the sector that is transforming America. We were created back in 1934 with the task of providing to all Americans cutting-edge communications services. And then 21st century, increasingly, that means broadband. I've seen it in my travels across the country that our internet economy is the envy of the world. We have companies that are creating applications and services that are being exported all around the world. But I've also seen that there are gaps in our internet economy, that there are too many Americans who are left behind, who are on the other side of that digital divide. I've been to schools where people do have to go to the local McDonald's, which is the library, to try to get a Wi-Fi connection to do their homework. I've spoken with parents who tell me, sometimes with tears in their eyes, that their kids aren't able to succeed because they don't have the ability to afford high-speed internet at home. And that is the kind of thing that I think the FCC needs to address and is addressing. I believe in a vision of ubiquitous broadband where everybody has a chance to access digital opportunity. And why is that? It's because I believe in each and every one of you. Somewhere in this room, there's an entrepreneur who has an idea that is someday going to transform the world. Somewhere in this room is an artist who's going to create something that will find expression on a worldwide basis, not just here in Baton Rouge. Somewhere in this room is somebody who's just waiting for a chance to break out in whatever field it is. But what they need for that to be able to happen is broadband. Broadband literally is increasingly the lifeblood of this country. It allows entrepreneurs, innovators, artists, creators everywhere to be able to access a customer base or a readership or a listenership or whatever it is that is going to become, it gives you a global platform for innovation and investment. And that's part of the reason why I think broadband is so critical. The FCC has a number of policies that it tries to adopt to promote broadband deployment, but at the end of the day, the private sector really does have to help take the lead. And we are so fortunate that companies like Cox have done that. And I salute Cox for the tremendous leadership they've shown, not just here in Baton Rouge and not just on this day, but across the country, in markets big and small, in circumstances easy and quite challenging. Cox has stepped up to the plate and is delivering to students like the students here at Broadmoor digital opportunities that are going to help you bridge that digital divide. It's something that I think deserves mention, not just here locally, but across the entire country. We are so grateful to Cox for what you've done today, and I'm just privileged to be a part of it. One of the things that I found is that technology is changing so quickly. Back when I was in school, the cutting edge technology was the #2 pencil. But now, with the internet, you have the ability to travel everywhere. Your access to information is unparalleled. You have chances that I never had. The chance to walk through the halls of the New York Public Library. The chance to look at some of the greatest art in the Louvre. Broadband will allow you to do that. And I'm happy that thanks to the new offering that Cox has presented, higher speed access and Wi-Fi connections at home, there's no telling where your education is going to take you. All I ask is that you keep us posted, fire that internet connection, and let us know what you're going to achieve in the years to come. So thanks once again to the school and to Cox for inviting me to participate. Thanks to Cox for the Connect2Compete initiative. And thanks to all the students here for the achievements that we can't even predict right now. You're on the brink of something big, and we just want to get a front row seat when it happens. Thank you very much.
How did this program get started?
Well, this program really with us goes way back for us, but recently we put a program together with the Federal Communications Commission, which started back in 2012, and we really came together to try and decide how do we put a program together to really help the youth advance, particularly associated with access to the internet.
How critical is internet access in today's educational classroom?
Well, it's absolutely critical to the research that kids do. We all talk about go Google it. And so it's almost a word that's used universally to look on the internet. So today, the kids that don't have those computers and internet access are going to the library or just getting behind. And so this gives us an opportunity to level the playing field, to give our kids an opportunity to compete with everybody else in Louisiana and Baton Rouge.
How many teachers are assigning homework now that involves internet research?
Well, absolutely, we're moving to that. We're getting more digital every day. And so I can't tell you the exact percent, but there are a lot of them because they have to go do research. This isn't, in today's world of Common Core and higher standards, kids have to they have to be able to speak it, research it, write it, and then test on it. So it's a whole process, and this is a huge part of it, being digital, no doubt.
Your reaction to everything that you've seen and heard here today?
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, just the ability of students to access the internet at school and at home, for parents to be able to have the confidence that their children will not be put at a disadvantage, that is a tremendous force multiplier when it comes to these kids' future. And so that's part of the reason why I'm so optimistic that there's a future entrepreneur, innovator, artist here in the audience that is going to have a chance to succeed in a way they wouldn't have if they were stuck in the analog age.
So how the program works is really this. We work with the schools in the individual communities, then get the word out around the Connect2Compete program, where students can then sign up for a $9.95 a month program and get connected to the internet.
And what advantages have you seen in this program in other parts of the country?
Well, this is really all about kids and advancing kids and giving them the ability to compete going forward. And we've really seen, we've gone back to many of the locations where we've had the program before and seen where kids have really advanced and done exceptionally well with access to the internet.
I'm a Buccaneer. I was here in '92 for 3 years as the assistant principal, so once a Buccaneer, always a Buccaneer. And it's exciting to see our kids here and all the people who are coming out to support the Cox and the East Baton Rouge Parish Partnership.
I'm very excited. One young man came to meet us today. His name is Byron. I think he's Mr. Broadmoor, I think, in the local area, but he's very excited about the program. He actually talked about the fact that he has access to the internet, some of his friends who do not, and the importance of having access to the internet for them to advance, particularly in school. About 75% of teachers these days are actually assigning homework that requires internet access.
If people have questions like more information about the program, what should they do?
Really just go to the Cox website, or please reach out to your schools who are very well equipped to answer that question as well.